Mars-Uranus conjunction on July 15th is going to be having us look at change, revolution, independence, breaking free from the norms of how we live our life, moving into something more whole, more liberated, where we're breaking the ground of our life and our life situation and what we're really living out in our lives. So, welcome to this episode of the Cosmic Scope podcast, where I will be looking at a past astrological transit. So yes, I'm doing it, and I don't want to see any comments saying, "Oh well, it's 2026. Why are you doing this? It's 2020. This took place 2024." Well, I want viewers who are curious about astrology and want to learn more about it, and want to hear, want deep, good quality astrology content, and want, very into it and not very judgmental and narrow-minded. I want open-minded viewers. And so I trust if you clicked on this, then you were one of those viewers. So I don't want to see the comment section below, because I've uploaded past videos from my original channel. I'm topping those over. And, I can't control what other people say, and I will engage with the comments. I'll respond if they're on my channel, but really, I can do what I want to do on my channel. It's not like I'm charging for any videos on this channel. I can literally do what I want to do on this podcast, and I upload it so often because I love doing it so much, and I will never stop doing it unless my heart feels like, it's time to cut back. But, for now, I, really feeling like I'm in my prime right now with doing these episodes, and I want to, continue riding on that train of highs, riding on the high, fast train of what I'm doing. So I'm going to continue that here in this, episode. I don't want anyone to take away my sense of prosperity about this particular podcast in general. So, and on my YouTube channel, I did publish a little bit of a song last night on my phone. It was like an improv song, but okay. I am going to do whatever I feel like doing. If I feel like doing a improv, song, I'm just expressing things, then I'll do that. If I feel like writing the song, that'll be in my music Forever Cardi playlist, podcast episode, podcast, and so some videos will be that. So I don't want to limit myself. I'm trying to do that as little as possible, So that's what I want to say here. So, I know myself that I will want to do that, and I will allow myself that option of doing that guilt-free card. So anyway, delving into this episode of talking about the Mars-Uranus conjunction that occurred on July 15th, 2024. Why am I doing this episode? Well, I'm doing this episode because I had it on my original channel. I was gone for the most of 2024, like 6 months out of 2024, and then I came back in July to just do a couple videos, and I think I got rid of this accidentally. I might have gotten rid of this video that I did, so I was like, no, I need to do this again in my own new way so that I can feel better about it. If I delete any videos, then I will do them again in my own way, and I won't do that now. I've deleted a lot of stuff in my life, and I cannot afford to delete anything more because I have completely just, the tendency of destroying something in order to eliminate one part, and abuse of videos. Really, I cannot change what I've done. You may be thinking, why have you done that? You haven't done that. Well, you don't know my life and what I've done, and I will always probably feel the guilt of that, and it'll probably always be there, but I've healed from it. I can have as much compassion for myself as I can, knowing that I did what I did at the time for my soul to grow, for my soul to learn and to evolve from it. And I just have to be as kind to myself as I can with this. So this podcast, thank goodness I'm starting it now and not earlier, because I would have scrapped it, and I wouldn't, I think that now the timing is better, because I did not have it inside of me to do this podcast last year or the year before. I didn't have the enthusiasm or the drive or the interest in it to do it, the passion to do it like I do now. So the timing of everything in 2026 for me is really, really working out very, very well, and it seemed like the right time to do this podcast just now. So I'll be doing the 12 signs for Mars, Uranus, and Taurus. Well, the next one's in Gemini this year, I do believe, and I may discuss that then. But I'll do past transit videos when I feel like it. Really, this podcast is, but I do plan on Thursday and Fridays. I do the current transits for the week, and then Saturdays I do the general astrology videos. So that's what I will do, and everything else is just what I want to do and how often I want to do it. In no particular order, no particular series. Just be surprised, be curious. Like, I'm asking for your curiosity with this podcast. And, I'm not an astrologer, but I do have a very, very seasoned understanding of astrology, and I want to paint that picture in these episodes. But I definitely have a huge leg up in astrology before I even become an astrologer, which I do plan to become an astrologer. Give readings, probably not teach courses. Those are all the courses. The course material will be in my videos or potential books that I write. Maybe I have some books on my list that I want to write or whatever. I may get to those. I don't know. Yeah, I may very well get to those. But I won't charge for my mental, intellectual energy, because I just don't believe in that. I believe in making it free. That's just what feels right for me. Some people want to charge for giving all their energy and intellectual energy or whatever, and that's fine. That works for them, and that's great for them. But for me, I don't like doing that much, so I'll do it as little as possible. What I will probably charge for is readings that I eventually do, which are, why would you want to watch a reading of somebody else's chart? I mean, if you're curious about it, but still, they're charging for that. And yeah, I mean, that's really all that I can think to say. So, without further ado, this has been enough of an introduction. I will also do the astrology of July 16th through 21st. I'm going through all those days and an aspect for each of those days in a separate video, because I also I did daily astrology videos, for those days, and then I just stopped doing it. My original channel before I just switched over to this channel. So I will do that next week, perhaps Monday, when I get around to it. So it's just a kind of plan, an idea, and I will try my utmost to put an episode on this podcast from this point forward every day, no matter what, unless I lose my voice to sick or whatever, because I want to do this podcast and continue to do it so badly that I am so devoted to it. It's my pride and joy, and I want to take it seriously, and I want to put a lot of my energy into this thing, my creative thing, which I value so incredibly much. And so, delving into Mars conjunct Uranus now. Delving in, let's get substantial here, okay? All talk and no astrological content. So, that was enough of an introduction. Anyway, so, with this conjunction of Mars and Uranus, I'm going to get into the different characteristics and traits of these two planets involved. But there's a lot of, when Mars and Uranus conjunct, there is a lot of fear and anxiety around conjunctions like this. Because there's volatility in there, because there's all kind of volatility, all kind of, shakeups and startups and all kinds of booms and throws of the air and throws of the balls and the celery and the carrots and all those things that just get thrown up in the air. There's a lot of anxiety about it. Mars represents our willpower, represents a sense of willpower that we have with ourselves. It gives us, in astrology that I follow, referred to Mars as the gas and fuel tank. It gives you the drive to actually get up in the morning, wake up, and make something happen. Mars is initiative energy. It has, it's like put some chutzpah and some energy in you to actually achieve, the things that you want to achieve, and the activation energy to get those things off the ground and get those things done. So that's what Mars really is. It's also motivation, because with drive and energy also comes, motivation. So, the motivation to actually achieve these things in the handy very, very well is what Mars is about. So, all right. So it's motivation, and it's how we take action. Wherever Mars is in our chart shows the style of which we take action. If it's in Pisces, it's more reflective, quiet, and intuitive. If it's in Gemini, it's more through the mind, through more the intellectual, being able to think and being able to strategize and be able to see into the little details, to be able to intellectualize. It's not just using your words to fight, it's actually being very articulate when it comes to fighting. So you have to get nuanced, you have to get specific with Mars placements, because every single person uses words as a means of fighting, okay? Gemini just happens to do it in a way that is very, very clever, quick, smart, agile, and sharp. And that's Mars and Gemini. So, you have to really, really get specific to that. You can't just make that, that general statement about it. So, it's really how we tend to want to take action in our lives. And then Uranus gives, unexpected surprises. Uranus is like, the change bringer. It just brings the unexpected things to the forefront. It just makes all the surprises just go way up in the air. It's about surprises. Once it incite surprises inside of you. Freedom is also a thing with Uranus. It wants freedom and revolution. It wants to liberate you from, your current state of being. Uranus is breakdown to break through. It's about taking all the challenging circumstances that you have in your life and growing from them, evolving from them, with all the uncomfortable changes that Uranus might bring you. That's really the key, is, these changes that come about, which are really, really strong, changes that really, really shake you alive and, get under your skin. So then a conjunction, conjunctions in astrology are, really a, combination and a synergy of the energies combined. You're taking one planet's, qualities and characteristics and combining with another planet. Going on, and you're combining the energies together into one. Just like you would a new moon. Just like you would do, for a new moon. You would have this going on here. with the two energies combined. So if you put Mars and Uranus together, considering their qualities, which I just described, then you have what you're going to have with that conjunction. So it's about breaking free from what's conventional, breaking free from all of our rules that we've been stuck in, all of those rules. Like, you must dress in this way. You must wear high heels, or girls must wear short shorts. Like, I remember seeing a Doorman movie of, like, the dress code in school, and this principal was really, really strict, and these girls were, really not, she made a kind of a song about it. I will not wear short shorts. I will not. But, any rule that is conventional, that is, so you must fall through. You must fall through with that status of what you're doing. That's what I'm talking about here. And that's what you're breaking away from. That's what you're breaking away from. And it's about being your unique individual self. Being who you truly are, your free self. It represents sudden and unexpected changes, because that's what Uranus brings. It comes in like a lightning bolt. Like, Uranus is like a flash of lightning. You're in the sky, it's going along, then all of a sudden the thunder builds in the sky, and then it just grows, and then boom, a lightning flash, and then this change just comes out of nowhere. It's like, where did this come from? And it shakes you alive. It gets under your skin. It rattles your cage, and that's what Uranus wants. Is the change bringer, the change maker. It's also rebellious. This transit is also between Mars and Uranus, can create a lot of rebelliousness. You're going to be feeling during this time like you want to rebel against the many, many different things going on in your life. Going on with all these kind of things, the need to, rebel, and the need to, break out of your cage, and the need to really, and as I said, this is a past transit, but I'm talking about it as if it was going on right now. That's my style of doing it. So I cannot, be unnatural talking about it past tense. So anyway, don't mind me. That's a little disclaimer. No more disclaimer. I don't have to do that on this channel. So, rebelliousness. Rebelliousness is going on here with that quality of not following the rules. Like, you're going to be feeling like you don't want to follow the rules. You don't want to follow all that. So, impulsive. You're feeling very, very impulsive to do all these things. Like, you want to do it right now. There's this need to act right now. Act on it right in the moment. You also feel a lot of unpredictable behavior. Well, your behavior is really, really, unpredictable. Like, you're doing things that, it's like you're going along on a certain path, and all of a sudden you do something that you just never thought that you would do before. You're eating salad, but then all of a sudden you decide, I want to try some meat and incorporate that in my diet. Try something new. Or I am working on this project, and boom, I just need to revolutionize the way that I'm working on this project. So, it's all kinds of unpredictable behavior that you get yourself into with whatever you end up doing. And so this unpredictable behavior really, really asks you to change your ways. Mars and Uranus both want freedom and quick movement. That's what they're both about, is acting liberated and acting very, very quickly, moving very, very quickly, doing all this kind of things very, very quickly. They're about fast action. Mars and Uranus create things like chaos in the air, chaos and conflict. They may create accidents, like road accidents, or falling off your ladder when you're painting a painting, or or actually throwing water on a grease fire, which you're not supposed to throw water on a grease fire. It's just going to expand it even more. So these things which you do without thinking about them first. Explosions, crashes. So you want to be very, very careful that around this time you're not getting into a lot of these crashes. You're being very, very careful on the road. You're being very, very careful where you're going. Because the crashes and the accidents may very well happen. There can be unexpected and sudden explosions that comes in. Now, Uranus in Taurus is more difficult because Uranus is the change bringer. Uranus wants change and wants revolution and wants things to be shaken up, and it's all about change. It's all very, very flexible towards change. And right now, Uranus is in Gemini, so it's very, very flexible, with change. But at the time, Uranus was in Taurus, and Taurus does not like change. It doesn't like things to be changed around and shaken and stirred and all that, because Taurus likes, Taurus has a fixed sign. Fixed signs don't like change. Fixed signs, even though Aquarius is about change bringer, but still, Taurus wants stability. It wants comfort. It wants to go to the same restaurant, eat the same food. Wants to know that it can wake up every morning and it can rely on its environment. Get the same job, the same whatever, because it needs to feel a sense of security with that familiarity of the life that it intends to live. So that is why Taurus does not like change. It's very, very against change. So this can be where you're being very, very creative. You're being incredibly, creative. You're feeling like all of a sudden you're feeling more creative and more, like wow, I had all these visions and all these ideas, and I'm like, wow, all these things coming out of all of a sudden. I didn't know that I could, do all of these things, and I could, make all these things happen. And you're feeling more independent. You're feeling, the mood to be independent with whatever you're doing. There's this need for independence. There's need to break free. And in Taurus, what happens is you're focused on, because Taurus is a follow-through sign. Taurus follows through in whatever it does. Taurus, when it commits to something, it goes in full force and it sticks it out. It sticks it out. It's willing to stick it out, willing to do all those kind of things with what it does. And it definitely does this very, very well, where it sticks out, is willing to stick it out, for the long term and make it, because it wants to get the fruitful and material results, because earth signs are about results. Why are we putting in all this effort and time to be able to do this? It's because we want something from it. We want a result from it. So when it comes to this, it becomes about, we're innovative. We're thinking very, very innovative, to think outside of the box, to think outside of the traditional ways that we think. We're thinking our strategies. We're thinking all that kind of thing. Rethinking how we normally go about, doing it. And, doing it in a totally new way. Rethinking how we, go about it. And, looking at goals again. Looking at how we do it again. Looking at our goals really, really strongly. And how those goals are truly serving us in our own lives. And, are those goals really working out for us? And, all this kind of things like that. And you could ask yourself that question. Look at, our goals. And are they really, really sustainable for the long term? Because Taurus is about the long term. Uranus is shaking up all these values, all these, ways of doing this, all this security and stability that we thought these things gave us security and stability, but they're really not. So it's about revolutionizing that. So it's about having projects and things and plans and goals that can really stand the test of time, that are true to our values. What is a goal? What is a plan? What is a net pine? What is a commitment that is true to what we personally believe in? Values are beliefs and principles that guide our actions based off of physical things or ideals or whatever. Values are broad terms. So Taurus rules values. That's what Taurus corresponds to in astrology. So Aries is a sign that just comes before Taurus, and it's the match that lights the fire for all the other signs to follow. Aries just is like the baby. It's born into this world, and it's like, look at me, here I am. I have so much life force energy. I'm so energetic. I'm so full of just enthusiasm and the bursts of passion for life, and so it's like there's an empowerment with Aries. It's like, I am free to take action. I am free to be empowered and take action in my own life. That's what I'm free to do. And, Taurus, Aries is about the actions that you take, and Taurus is about staying the course and sticking it out. Like Taurus, comes after Taurus, like, the spring, how it stays the course. Like, how Taurus commits on a certain path that doesn't change, doesn't go back, doesn't go forward. It stays on that path and doesn't move away from that path. It commits to it. So you're breaking free from restrictions going on here. Breaking free from all these restrictions that you have going on inside of you. And challenging the status quo going on here. That's really, essentially, what you're doing is these restrictions that go on with your life in a kind of way where you're limiting yourself. Like, how are you limiting yourself? And it's about challenging the status quo, challenging what you personally believe in, personally want, challenging that, and, really, any rules that restrict you, any rules that keep you small and stuck, it's time to break out of that. And so, you can really look at innovation, really huge here. And what is innovation? Innovation is about taking new ideas, and making them in reality, like taking all these visions and all these new things and making them reality for yourself. So, that is, that is what that is. That's what innovation is. Inspired action. Like, you're inspired to take action. You're inspired to act. And so violence comes up. Just violence. You may find, like, more, there may be more conflict in your environment. There may be more frustrations. You may get into more arguments with people. I know that at the time what happened is, the president, I think Donald Trump got, shot in the ear or whatever. I mean, there's something really volatile happening kind of like January 6th, 2021. That was a really dark day in our history. Very, very recently. And so, like, those volatile, violent things could have come up at this period of time. So violence is a really huge element with this, and also, violence in your own personal life. You may be feeling more, impatient, more, reactive toward all these kind of things, and more, more just aggressively. You want to just fight so bad, and you feel this just drive to, get your way, and just there's this, like, in your personal life, there may be more violence going on here, and then. Conjunct algol. This conjunction is conjunct algol. I don't think that I covered this in that video that I got rid of, which, was good, but, still. So, with conjunct algol. And algol is a fixed star that is around 27 degrees of Taurus right now. Like, changes degrees every, 72 years, something. It is fascinating. The fixed star algol is fascinating. And it usually brings about bad and harmful, really negative stuff to the forefront. It brings about really a lot of negative, chaotic things and elements. And that can be a key player in here, so that adds to it. And then Mars-Uranus conjunctions are both positive and negative, at the same time they can have their, because like all aspects, they can be positive and negative at the same time. And so this is about reacting as which should be the opposite, responding as opposed to reacting. Because you may feel like, when somebody pushes your buttons, when somebody triggers you, when somebody annoys you, when somebody hurts you or irritates you, you may feel like you just want to react and just, act all of a sudden, but you're invited to respond at this time. You're invited to respond in all these kind of ways to, whatever you're doing. You're invited to, respond to these events in a way that is mature, in a way that is emotionally stable, and not, react, so much. So, responding as opposed to reacting. Can you, when you're about to react, when you're about to get mad, when you're about to blow up, can you take a step back, calm down, and just respond from a grounded, sovereign place? It's about inspiration. Having the inspirational, like just so positive. May feel like, wow, doing new and exciting things in your life. Like we run this time and just thought, I make a couple of videos, and well, that died out really, really quickly. That was short while it lasted, but you may feel like new inspiration around this time. Well, man, I feel so inspired to do all these things that I never thought of doing before. All these, goals and these ideas that I want to act on. All these kind of new, novel things in your life that you're like, I'm so enthusiastic about this. So, you may feel very, very innovative, very, very creative. You want to have the drive to create something new and, revolutionary. This drive to, to do this is to create something like that, which is, something that you've never done before. So it's about creating unexpected change, of looking at how and where you take action. How and where you really, really act and make things happen in your life is really what it comes down to. Really, really looking at this very, very critically with, how you really take action. How do you do it? Like, what is your style of taking action? What is your Mars energy part? What is your Mars aspect of you, really? And, where in your life do you take action? What house is your Mars in? What area of life do you take action in and you express your Mars most prominently? Mine is in the 6th house. I express my very Gemini, quick-witted, intelligent, sharp, intellectual qualities in my daily routines, in my health, and my, work situation, like all of that kind of thing, because I have both my Venus and Mars both in Gemini and in the 6th house together. So, they're kind of doubled in my chart. You could sing the Sun, Venus, and Mars. All right tonight. Well, that's certainly the case of my chart because they're both in the same sign. You're doing something very, very different than you've ever done before. What are you doing that's like so different than what you've ever done before? Like doing something like so incredibly new. Maybe you do your work differently. Maybe you work differently. Maybe your work is very, very, like you may go along with a certain way of going about a project or a certain way of doing something. And then you're all of a sudden like, I want to do it differently. Work on it differently. So you're breaking free from all these structures and constraints. All of these limitations that you come up against, like rules that you're like, this is a really, really strong and powerful rule. And it's about being empowered to break free from this rule. Break free from this limitation of this rule that you have going on. You're breaking free from the rule that holds you back in very, very huge ways. And really, really being liberated to to be free with that. And so it's about being independent, having an independent streak to, what you're doing, being very, very independent with all that you're doing. And then, what rules and expectations are you keeping yourself, are you, keeping yourself with, like, what are those things that, those limitations that that are imposed upon you by society or family members that you know that, oh, this doesn't ring true for me, this isn't right for me, this holds me back, but you continue to follow it anyway. You have the time to break free from all that. So you may want to do projects alone or in your own way. That may be a case also with doing this, wanting to do projects, solely. And you may make progress on a project on your own, possibly, like doing it in your own way. Because Uranus and Mars wants to be, like, these energies, want to be individualistic. They want to do it their own way, their own unique way, sovereign way. They don't want to follow along with what everybody else wants to. They don't want to color inside the lines. They don't want to follow the rules. They want to be individuals. They want to follow their own rules. So, with these projects, it's really about, are you allowing yourself the freedom to do it your own way? Or are you still following the rules that you don't believe in? So what rules are you like, this is not right for me, and I'm still following it? Like, that's the time to break free from those rules. And you may feel locked into structures that you may be liberated. You may be liberated from these structures, but you still feel confined. Like, this conjunction is going to bring to light, where are you still following the rules, and where you can break out and be, make your own rules in your life, be your own inner authority. What conditioning, maybe by your culture, maybe by society, that you've, got into that has kept you from being your true self, and releasing this conditioning. And then also, determining what you truly believe in, what you truly believe in. What is it that you really believe in that you want to achieve? Like a principle, like an idea, like a philosophy. What is it? I want to know, what do you truly believe in your life and that you want to follow? And, living according to your inner authority. Living according to your inner, your inner self, your inner guidance system that kind of tells you which way to go. Like, your intuition kind of tells you, where to go and, which direction, and at that time. And then extreme independence. Extreme. Fierce independence. Like, you want to be fiercely independent. You don't want to follow along with everything. So that is basically the overview of Mars conjunct Uranus in the sky. This has been almost 40 minutes long, pretty in depth for one conjunction that happened in the past. So anyway, if I'm not back this afternoon, if I ever feel like it, I kind of, to be honest, there is this book that I'm going to read that I have not started yet, so I'll probably get to that. Probably have to make a plan for doing that, because it's like a little small part of me is like, you haven't started this yet, so I will plan on doing that. And maybe I will be back. I say I make promises, but I'm not bound to my promises. Like, I may say that I'm going to do this video here, or I'm going to do this video, but I'm saying it because I feel it in the moment. Okay, it doesn't mean that I'm going to follow through with it. So I know that you're like, what are you doing on the receiving end of it? But I'm not here to cater to the viewers and care what they think and do all this stuff. Okay, no. So, we're planning on doing the 12 signs on Sunday for this conjunction and how they were probably impacting what they probably needed to consider at the time. So I'm going above and beyond what I did back in 2024. Above and beyond. So that's my intention. And I'll probably do other past transit videos occasionally because I want to talk about that. I want to do a video on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in 2020. I want to do videos because those are really, really significant conjunctions. So you see, like, liberating yourself to do whatever you want to do. Whatever feels right. Whatever you want to do. Anything goes. The sky is the limit. That's really the truth of it. So, that is what I want to say on this episode of the Cosmic Sky Podcast. Bye for now. Take good care, and I will see you next time. All my love and care and appreciation.